Hi friends, today the topic that we're going to discuss is what is a business model and what are the different types of business models out there. So when you're building a startup, I think one of the main questions that you need to ask yourself is, and mostly if you're pitching to also investors, they will definitely ask you this question, what is your business model? And I have seen people who actually have not thought through the business model of their startup at the beginning, and then they struggle later on trying to figure out this question. So what is business model essentially, right? So business model is really a framework that really explains how a startup is really going to make money and in a profitable way, and how it is going to sustain in long run. You can break it down mostly into like 5 questions. The first thing is, what is the product or the service that you're selling, and how are you going to generate value? How are you going to create and deliver value through a product or service that you plan to build? So that's the number one question you need to ask yourself. The second thing is, what is the customer type that you're targeting? What kind of customer segment are you targeting in a large market? That's the second question. The third question is, how much are you going to charge for your product, for one unit of your product? The next question is, what is the cost incurred for producing that product or delivering this service if it's a service? So per unit, what are you going to charge? That really tells how we want going to make money. The second thing is like, what is the cost involved in this process? The last part is like, what is the profit per unit, right? So these are mainly the 5 questions that you need to really ask yourself when you are thinking about business model. A business model need to clearly articulate how you're going to sustain over long run, and the main thing is how you're going to be profitable. So that has to be demonstrated in a business model. So this is the main thing, that one of the main thing that you need to probably think, spend a lot of time thinking and developing as you build a startup or a product. The next thing is about the different type of business models. So if you look at the market, most of the startups out there can really be bucketed into really like 5 different categories, and I'm going to explain different types of business models that are prominent, because in 99% of the cases you will end up in one of these categories. So the first one is like subscription business models. Subscription business models are good examples are Netflix, which you already might be using, and Spotify, right? They have it's a stream, these are streaming services for music and video, and you as a customer, you're paying a monthly subscription fee for these platforms. So those are subscription business models. Really, you are charging the customer a recurring subscription fee every month for a product or a service that you're delivering. The second thing is probably a subset of the subscription business model, which is more relevant for software companies, is SaaS business models, software as a service business model. So in the past, software was mostly like, something that you actually go and buy, giving the full amount. Before the SaaS business models, a good example of that is the Microsoft Office products. They were previously, you can go and buy a license outright, and then you keep the product with you. It's almost like going and buying like a physical commodity. But later on, SaaS business models came into the market, and they changed the way these companies operate. So you don't have to pay a very big upfront fees to buy the product, but really the actual software really becomes like a service for you, just like a cleaning service. When you need it, you hire them, and then you don't need it, you don't pay for it. So the SaaS business models, the good examples of it is Shopify, Zoom everyone is using, and another example is a marketing software called HubSpot, right? Shopify, as you know, is one of the popular online shop creation platforms that helps you to launch an online store, really. And you as a customer is really using all the tools that they provide you to build an online store, and in return you're paying a subscription fee. So that's like an example of a standard SaaS company. Zoom, the same thing. The tool that helps you to conduct video conferences, and then you as a customer is paying a monthly subscription fee. So SaaS is really a subset of a subscription business model. The third kind of business model, which is very popular, is marketplace business model. Marketplace business models are mostly where there is a buyer and a seller involved. Yeah, there are two kinds of marketplace business models. There are one-sided marketplaces and two-sided marketplaces. One-sided marketplace business model is any retail store, yeah, any online store or a brand who is selling their product online. For example, in India, Bata is a very good example, or Nike would be another example. So these are companies that already they have one single product, they have an online store, and then you as a customer can go and buy the product from them. And that's really an example of a marketplace business model. They have for a specific category called footwear, they have all kinds of products under their brand, and that's like one-sided marketplace when they have only one specific type of product to sell. The two-sided marketplaces, Amazon, for example, is a standard example of a two-sided marketplace. You have different type of sellers selling their products on a platform, and you have buyers coming in and buying. And the business model is really like they would be charging a commission on the transactions going through the platform, and they as a platform is facilitating and building all the tools necessary for the buyers and sellers to discover each other, connect, and make a transaction, and they take a commission of the transaction. Yeah, so that's like marketplace business model. Another example of two-sided marketplace business model is Airbnb, right? You have people who have real estate properties, they want to rent out their apartments, and you have really tenants who wants to come in and book these apartments. Yeah, so that's like a two-sided marketplace, and whenever you make a booking on this Airbnb platform, the Airbnb platform takes a commission off of it. So that's a standard two-sided marketplace business model. The third kind of business model is platform business model. A platform business model is a kind of marketplace business model, but you specifically design the platform to serve the need of one specific type of user. Yeah, you put all your energy to make sure that that particular seller or a user on the platform can succeed and generate income. So you're basically offering a platform for a specific type of user who actually come to the platform. They are able to build their business on top of it, and that they are able to generate income. And you take, as a platform providing distribution for this kind of users, would take a commission off of it. Standard example of this is Substack, which is like a platform that allows writers to really publish. It's a publishing platform really. So writers can actually open up an account, then they can start writing about topics that they love, and then this would be distributed to their subscriber base. So every single user has their own subscriber base, which means a set of readers who have subscribed to them. And for example, I start a newsletter on Substack, right? And there would be a lot of subscribers for my newsletter, and basically Substack as a platform would charge you a commission off of your income. So this is like providing all the tools that are essential for a user to succeed on the platform, and then taking a commission off of their income. So that's the platform business model. Another standard example of this is popular one is Meesho, which is the most popular reseller platform in India. They started as a platform that's designed to help people to sell through WhatsApp, and they charge a commission off of the income that each and every seller makes on the platform. Yeah. So these platforms would be mostly, there's a key difference between a marketplace business model and a platform business model, because in marketplace business model, the focus of the product will be more in facilitating discovery. Yeah, the buyers and sellers have to discover each other. And in a platform business model, the focus would be most on building tools to help a specific user succeed, which is helping them generate more income. Patreon is a very big example of this, which is like a popular creator platform based out of US. And what they do is offering a platform for creators to really come to the platform, sign up, put up some products, and basically they can invite their subscriber base. This is mostly for creative people. Like if you are a musician, and you could create a special subscription on Patreon and invite everyone who wants to hear your music, and then you can charge for it. And Patreon will provide you all the tools for creating your products, music products, and launching it on the platform. So that's like the platform business model. It's specifically designed for success of a specific user. Transactional business model, that's the probably the third or fourth prominent type of business model is transactional business models. Transactional business models are more like, a good example of this is Stripe and Square. Both of these platforms, Stripe for example is the most popular, it is the most popular offering the software that is helping online stores, for example, to collect payments. Yeah, not only online store, mostly any business, anyone who runs an online business, if they want to charge their customer or collect payments from their customer into their bank account, they are providing the technology for it. Yeah, so they are really selling the technology that helps any online store really collect payments from their customers. And by facilitating this transaction, that's why it's called transactional business model. Yeah, Stripe is offering you really a tool or a technology that you can install on your online store, so that you can charge your customers, collect the money from them, and they bring it easily into your bank account, and they will charge a commission off of this every single transaction. So that's like a transactional business model. These are purely technology companies and mostly companies that are in the financial industry. The second example is Square. Square is also similar kind of Stripe, but they provide, I think, like a hardware device specifically to small businesses like restaurants and those offline shops to collect payment, mostly offline. And Square is like also like taking a commission off of every single transaction. Yeah, so that's that is like transactional business model. So the last business model type is really enterprise business model. Enterprise business models are a little bit complex and also quite large in form of ticket size or contract value, because here the goal is mostly like you're solving a very very big problem. Yeah, and the idea is that you have a large contract, you sell a large contract to very very big companies, and that's it. You solve a big problem for a large company and then you charge a large contract. So those are enterprise business models. They are very lucrative business models that can help you build a very solid business. Some quick examples is SAP, a massive platform with several products helping like large companies solving their workflow, and helping them with the ERP solutions. That's another example. That's one example of enterprise product. Another one which is a massively famous database platform, Oracle. Salesforce is another example. So mostly ERP workflow related products solving a large problem space with a very big tool chain, and they would be charging like $100,000 for one contract. Yeah, so the only problem with enterprise business models is like they have very long sales cycles. It's not as easy to start like an online store, but they have very long sales cycles, and the market size would be typically very small sometimes. So that's like the last type of business models. So these are all the different type of business models and a quick explanation of the business model framework. I hope this was helpful to you. Thanks for listening. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.